What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoy this video, hit that like button for me. Alright guys, today I got a really cool knife for you guys. This is a knife I knew absolutely nothing about. Completely off the radar for me. Craig sent me this knife. He pre-ordered this knife I think at the first of the year, and just recently got it. When I say recently, a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I'd never heard of the company or the knife. When I got the knife in hand, I was like, oh my goodness. I actually have a unboxing / first impressions video with this knife. And I think in that video, I thought this knife was made by Riat. That's how good it is. I thought Riat was the OEM, but this is actually OEM by Bestech. And man, they did a good job on this one. Craig got number 007 M390, the blade still, titanium liner lock or bolster lock. I'm gonna call it a liner lock with micarta overlays. This is the best micarta I think I've ever felt. It's so good. It's soft but has texture. Feels so good. I love the micarta. This is the same micarta. If I'm not mistaken, this is the exact same micarta that's used on the Vero Engineering liner lock axons. It totally reminds me of that knife. I do have an overview of that knife also on the channel from a while back. This one's a front flipper. It can also be reverse flick just using the blade. Takes a little practice, but you can do it. The action's so good, you can easily do it. Even with the stonewash finish, I can get enough traction with just the meat of my finger to reverse flick this knife. Missed it under the camera. It's not the easiest thing to do initially, but after you try a few times, you get it, and it's like, yeah, it's very easy to do after that. The thumb action's really good. The knuckle roll's really good. The jimping, it's fantastic. It's more of the fine jimping. It's not the sharpest jimping, but it works. So it could be sharper. They do take it up over the top here, so it makes it very hard to miss either way with the thumb or the knuckle roll. It makes it extremely hard to miss it. So it's done extremely well. Let me give you the specs real quick. We'll give you a couple size comparisons. Overall length is 7.59 inches. Blade length 3.24 inches. The weight is 3 ounces. It's on cage ceramic ball bearings. I don't know the blade thickness. It's pretty thin. I'm going to measure it real quick for you. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to guess 140 thousandths, 150 thousandths, somewhere in that range. 140 thousandths. So yeah, pretty close. I got it. I nailed it, actually. Not close. I freaking nailed it. This is not my favorite blade shape. Is this a drop point? Is this a clip point? I don't know what it is. It does have a very deep hollow grind, whatever it is. And yeah, it's going to be super thin behind the edge. Yeah, this one's awesome, guys. If this knife is in your price range, these are the kind of knives you like. You're up in near that $300 range. This is under $300. This was a pre-order which sold out, but there is another pre-order going on for the Assetto, but it is not the liner-like version. They have a pre-order going on right now for the frame-like version. The liner lock was $277. The frame lock that they currently have a pre-order going on for is also $277. The frame lock does not have the micarta. It's just a titanium frame lock. I don't know how good that one's going to be. I'm going to imagine, since it's Bestech, it's going to be just as good as this. So if this is in your price range, don't even worry about, you know, the knife not being good, because this thing is fantastic. It really is. One of my favorite front flippers of all time, and I love front flippers. The ergos are superb. I mean, you don't get much better. They are actually fantastic. The pocket clip goes in and out of the pocket perfectly. It is not a deep carry. It is a milled titanium clip, but it, you know, about that much of the knife is going to be out of your pocket. But I don't really care about that personally. The pocket clip works extremely well. Has a titanium backspacer. Really is a beautiful knife. Totally not my style of knife, right? I don't really care. This reminds me of like a skinning knife. I don't know why. Kind of reminds me of the Mini Crooked River a little bit, which is also not a knife that aesthetically I like, but the action is fantastic, so I really like the knife. This is the same way. This is not a knife I would see a picture of and I'd be, oh yeah, I got to get that one. I love how that looks. This one doesn't do that for me. But when you get this thing in hand and you feel the ergos, you feel the action, it's on another level. Give you a couple size comparisons real quick. A new one to me, the Kaiser Feist XL. This is another front flipper. Almost identical in length. And this is a great front flipper. It really is. I have an overview coming to this soon. This thing's really, really good. But it is not on the level of this. They are like in different categories. It's kind of like going from a QSP OEM to a RIAT. You know what I mean? They're both can be really good, but the smoothness, the glassiness, it's just on a different level. So this thing's amazing. It really, really is. I hope they do more of these liner locks in the future. Here's the AD 20.5. Again, almost identical in length. Here's the Spyderco Para 3. Quite a bit longer than a Para 3, but it feels small in hand, you know. It looks pretty big next to the Para 3, but in hand, this thing does not feel that big. It feels medium-sized hand. It feels great in hand. It really, really does. Excellent ergos. What else we got here we can do? Well, let's go ahead and do a Yojimbo 2. It's going to be quite a bit shorter than the Yojimbo 2. Let's go ahead and do a Benchmade bug out. Just a little bit longer in the bug out, but not by much. Maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. I really wish I had a Crooked River here right now, a Mini Crooked River, because the shape of this knife for some reason really reminds me of that, but I don't have one here. Here's a F5.5, a RIAT made knife. The action on this, the way the bearings feel on this one, feel extremely similar to this knife. That's why I thought it was RIAT, because there's only a couple RIATs I've held, like the Lucas P, the Chavez. They feel different. The quality, you know, the build looks, you know, it's hard to pick them out that way. But when you feel the way the bearings roll with a RIAT knife, you know it's a RIAT knife. I thought this was a RIAT knife. My first impressions, I really did. That's how good it is. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you got to get a RIAT knife to understand what I'm talking about. Here's the variant PE2 by Kavist Blade Works. We always do a QSP Penguin. And what else we got here we can do real quick? Here's the Tempest Knives Pinion. Not much shorter than a pinion, but probably 1/4 inch shorter than a pinion. That should give you guys a good idea on the size of this knife. Yeah, this thing's absolutely, if you haven't figured it out yet, I love this knife. I absolutely love it. The micarta is amazing. It's the best I've ever felt. The action is superb. It's so glassy. I mean, you feel nothing. It's like it's floating on air. It doesn't completely drop shut because the blade's not that heavy, but one shake and it comes down, and you can easily reverse flick it even without a fuller. I really wish they didn't have the Grambeau there. I could live without that, you know. Your knife design should stand out on its own. You shouldn't need to put your name on it like that anyway. I mean, if you need to go around your pivot or something, maybe inside, do that. Also not the biggest fan of having this all right here, M390 or the 007. I mean, you could put it somewhere else. You could hide it, you know, maybe on the front flipper or something like that. I'd rather that not be there. But that's just a personal preference. Some people like to have that, you know, advertised on their knives, but I would rather that not be there. I really don't have, other than that, I don't really have anything negative to say about this knife. I think for the price at $277 compared to other knives out there of this quality, it's right in line. It's very fair. Yeah, so good, so good. I hope they release more of this version. I'm sure I would think the frame lock's going to be as good. I don't know that, obviously. No one's got a frame lock yet. That is what the pre-order is for right now. But if it's even remotely close, yeah, you won't be disappointed. And I hope they release more of these in the future. Maybe do some different micartas or some fat carbon inlays or some other inlays would be nice. But it looks really good the way it is. Stonewash finish is beautiful. Everything is done extremely well. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up. If any of you guys got this knife, comment below. Is yours as glassy smooth as this one? I mean, just so glassy smooth, so good. Comment below, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. I'll see you guys on the next one.